Tuesday, my friends, and a very happy Super Bowl week from everybody here at Prime Sports World, as we are now just 5 days away from the kickoff to Super Bowl 60 here in Santa Clara, California, the home of the San Francisco 49ers, where we will see the New England Patriots, the champions in the AFC, go up against the Seattle Seahawks, the champions in the NFC. This is Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. If you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World, and drop your predictions down in the comment section. Who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and what do you think the final score will be? I'm David On Point Huffman, right there from the Daily Blitz Stop blog, the Christian Simpson. Welcome to the show, my friend. Happy Tuesday, happy Super Bowl week, and shout out to Maya, who's watching us over there on the YouTube. A hi to you as well. And if you have any questions or comments as we go through the show, please drop those in the comment section. We love fan interaction as we go through fantasy football shows, or just football shows in general. But Christian, we're here. We made it, man. It's all leading up to this.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
months and months of podcasts and months of planning has all led us up to this.
Yeah, and David, it seems like, man, I think this is like the 4th or 5th Super Bowl I think I've been able to break down for you guys with the Prime. And again, man, I don't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you just really got to take these moments in at times. But yeah, I'm ready to break down another Super Bowl. But I have a question for you, my friend. You living out there, what's the atmosphere like? Talk to me.
So I think I'll have a better, because I've been off the last couple of days, off work. I think I'll have a better idea tomorrow when I go into the office, because our content is just like all Super Bowl. Like we're not doing as much as like regular news as we normally do. So full disclosure, I don't know if people know this about me. I'm a television news producer. I work in San Francisco, California. I'm one of their weekend EPs, and yeah, we're like honed in, man. Like we got all of this Super Bowl content. We have all of this coverage. We have live shots planned every hour on the hour. We have a hub, that we have. So I live in Oakland, so like the Super Bowl is actually taking place in South Bay. So like it's just kind of a weird, like I don't get to feel the vibe as much when I'm not in the office because I am in Oakland.
Yeah. I remember in 2014. I was still living in Illinois at the time, and, I'm still like kicking myself that I didn't take full advantage of this. But, the Super Bowl was at MetLife. I did. For those of you listening, I had moved back to New Jersey / New York City, and I live now about 10 or 15 minutes away from MetLife. And I could have came back, and just kind of taking everything in with the media and everything. And I wouldn't have had to have paid for a hotel, because I just could have stayed at a relative's house. But, now I know for the next time if they ever bring it back, because that game was an absolute dud.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I got to go into the office early. We have like extended shows all week. Like it's going to be a very long week, Christian, in my office.
Look, man, look, David. Well, I guess the most important question is, are you off on Sunday at least?
So yeah, I get off at 11 o'clock. So, the Super Bowl doesn't start till 3. There's like this big block party, watch party, that I'm going to go to. Okay. I've been seeing this chick for a couple weeks now. So I think me and her are going to go together. So.
Look, man, we're gonna talk about that off the air. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but nah, man. Hopefully you'll just be able to enjoy it, because I know you work a lot. I know you work long, hard hours out there, and I know you do a lot. So you can kick back, enjoy a drink. Or a few.
I'm gonna have a few for sure. I got a buddy from Olin Park, like where I'm from originally. He's actually flying out he's a big Patriots fan. Shout out to AJ Vukovic if you're watching this show. He said he's flying out to watch the Patriots try to win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I'm off on Monday. He's like, man, if I'm not hungover as hell, we'll meet up. I was like, dude, last time, if Izzy were in the show right now, the last time that the Patriots in the Super Bowl, AJ went out like to celebrate, and the Patriots lost, and he like passed out in the hallway of our apartment. We were all living together at the time. So Godspeed to AJ if the Patriots don't pull this off. Santa Clara is the Bay Area is not for blacking out, for sure.
Oh yeah,
So,
absolutely. Nah,
so,
man. Now look, before we even get into the game, David, here's another question for you. Look, man, we gotta get it warmed up. You know what I'm saying? What are three foods for your spread for the Super Bowl that like you
oh,
must have? Let me hear it.
I gotta have pigs in a blanket.
Okay.
There's something about pigs in a blanket I just love, like especially the
Okay.
mini
Okay.
ones, like in the little rolls, like you dip them in some ketchup and some mustard. Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
those hit, man. Especially if you get the like hot link ones, like I don't know if you have hot links
Oh, come on, man.
in
Come
the
on, man.
so no, but for real, I had never heard of it until I moved here to California, and then like I was at this barbecue, and they gave me this hot dog. I was like, so I started taking a bite. I'm like, man, what is this? They're like, oh, it's a hot link. I'm like, how have I not known about this my whole freaking life? And yeah, so hot links be it. It's pizza, preferably tavern style, Chicago style pizza,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's got to be buffalo wings. My preferred
Oh,
flavor is actually Parmesan garlic and buffalo mixed together, super wet with extra
see,
ranch.
look, man, I knew we were brothers for a reason because yeah, I'm a Parmesan garlic guy myself.
Oh
So
man,
yeah,
there's this wing place here in California, in Oakland, called Lupia Company. Shout out to them too. Shout out to the guy Alex who owns it. He's a diehard Commanders fan, and when I first moved here, when I first moved here, I found out. I told him I was a Bear fan. He was giving me such a hard time for that Fail Mary play where they beat us last year, and then we beat them this year in the regular season. I'm gonna give him a hard time every time I go
yeah,
in there.
for sure.
Every time I go in there, I have my Bears flag with me.
Oh, you're trolling. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
but they have the best wings you'll ever have in your freaking life. They're incredible. Like it's a Filipino place. Like it's their food is incredible. Like their wings are so good. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Nah, man. For me, definitely chicken wings. Like, chicken wings have to be a part of the spread for sure. There's a burger joint that I live by that Guy Fieri actually went to on Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. It's
Oh,
called White Manna, and it's like little burger sliders. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring you guys when you guys come out here, and there's nothing fancy about it. Like maybe 15 people at the most, I think, could fit in there, and you got to know what you want right away. I did that last year. Really, it's just a finger food spread for me. Like nothing, no 3-course meal or nothing like that. Like, man, this is a day to pick out. It's a holiday.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I see the website. Yeah, I see the one we're doing with Guy Fieri on here too. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. But yeah, I mean, the pigs in a blanket, man. Those just hit. Like they're just so good.
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
Let's talk about the football action. I also got some fun. Like we're gonna do some prop bet stuff at the very end of the show.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about Super Bowl 60. Here are the stats that you need to know about each individual team going into this matchup. First, we got the Patriots, and these two teams could not be more evenly matched. When you talk about like some of their numbers, they're like eerily close. Like Patriots points per game, 28.8 points per game. Seahawks 28.4. The both teams are 14-3 in the regular season. The Patriots a little bit of the advantage when it comes to total yards of offense. The advantage is a little bit higher on the defensive side for the Seattle Seahawks. Mike Vrabel, head coach, the battle of the mics there. Mike McDonald for the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, I got the picks that. Damn it. It's going to be Drake May, quarterback for the New England Patriots, going up against Sam Darnold, who may have the best retribution story or like just comeback story of in NFL history, where his ability, like he was basically cast off and now he's going to be playing in the Super Bowl. It's also crazy that of that draft class that he's in with Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, he's the first one to go to a Super Bowl. That's just crazy. Ramondre Stevenson, running back. Kenneth Walker, the third running back for the Seattle Seahawks. We got Stephon Diggs as the wide receiver position, and then JSN for the Seattle Seahawks. Christian Gonzalez, defensive back, and then Devin Witherspoon. This is really the battles of the defensive backs for the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. They know they have some other players out of this team, obviously, but those are their two best defensive players. Just looking at these numbers here, Christian, anything jump out at you?
I mean, just how evenly matched, like you mentioned. I mean, this New England offense was so much better. You look at those years and they were winning 4 and 5 games and they were really struggling to move the ball up and down the field. And I even remember when Bill Belichick was the head coach, he was winning with defense, he was winning with special teams, and he was winning it with a a ground game that was really consistent. But now, I mean, they've really flourished. They've opened up the playbook, but most importantly, they've simplified the playbook and they've opened things up, and they're allowing Drake May to be himself. They're doing it with balance. They have a two-headed monster at running back in Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. And what Jahmyr Gibbs is to the Detroit Lions is what Travion Henderson is to the New England Patriots. I mean, he was a home run hitter with the Ohio State Buckeyes, and a big part as to why they won that national championship. And he's been pretty important for them this season as well. They put weapons around Drake May, and I've been stressing this all year long. Kayshon Boutte is one, Demario Douglas, Austin Hooper, Hunter Henry, and Stephon Diggs. I mean, he's come in, and I think he's kind of elevated everybody around him. But it all starts with Drake May, and then defensively, they've been great, which you kind of expected with Mike Vrabel and him being the defensive-minded head coach that he is. And you look at Seattle, David. Here's the crazy thing about the Seahawks. The NFC was a gauntlet this year. The Rams, the 49ers, the Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champs. You have the Green Bay Packers with Micah Parsons. Your Chicago Bears were on the come up, and Seattle beat two of the teams that I just mentioned. They beat San Francisco and they beat the Rams to get to this point. But I think what's impressed me the most about what the Seattle Seahawks have done, it's the fact that they've quietly gone about business. They've been under the radar and they're just playing football. And now people have no choice but to recognize them. They've done it with defense. They're doing it with a balanced offensive attack. And how could you not be happy for Sam Darnold, where he was, and how many people were really writing this kid off? And look at where he is now. And the fact he's the first quarterback of that 2018 class to make the Super Bowl. And there's some heavy hitters in there. Josh Allen, he's won an MVP. Lamar Jackson has won 2 MVPs. Baker Mayfield has panned out pretty well. And Sam Darnold's the first guy out that class to make it, like you mentioned. This Seattle offense, they have 3 reliable passes.
Hold on, Christian. My cat. So I broke a string on my guitar, and my cat will not stop playing with it. I need to take it away from her real quick. So just give me a second.
I got you. Do what you do. Do what you do. He'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we're here. We're talking Super Bowl 60, NFC champion, Seattle Seahawks, AFC champion, New England Patriots. This is a rematch of a Super Bowl that was played 11 years ago. I think it was Super Bowl 49, if I'm not mistaken. That was the infamous Malcolm Butler interception. And I even saw something on Instagram the other day where the refs who were in that game were like, why the hell didn't they just give Marshawn the football? Yeah, I mean, now Tom Brady's not walking through that door. Yeah, David, I had to keep the people entertained. We didn't want no, yeah.
Listen, so I don't usually, I have a desk and everything. I can put my guitar right next to it. I usually play the guitar at this desk. And I was playing the guitar yesterday, and I was tuning it, and I snapped the G string on the guitar, and I haven't had a chance to fix it. My cat was super interested in what I was doing over here, and then she saw that the string was loose and hanging, so she was like, "What?" And I'm like, this is no good. I can't have the guitar get knocked over because my cat is having a field.
Nah, that's hilarious. But like what I was saying about Seattle, they've reverted back to how they used to play. Those years when they were getting the back-to-back Super Bowls. They're running the football. Kenneth Walker III has really come into his own. I know they're missing Zach Charbonnet, but defensively, this has really been their calling. And Mike McDonald, he's elevated this defense. What he did with the Ravens is exactly what he's doing with the Seahawks. But I think what really stands out to me with the Seattle offense, they have 3 reliable pass catchers in Cooper Kupp, a guy that's been here before, Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's really elevated himself, I think, into a top 5 wide receiver, and Rashid Shaheed, a guy that can really take the top off the zone coverage.
Yeah, let's actually get into these individual matchups when it comes to the skill positions, each position as we go through the each individual team. But yeah, I just want to take a look at the numbers and how evenly matched these 2 teams are. Let's talk about individual battles when it comes to each particular position. Let's start with the head coach. We have Mike Vrabel on the side of the New England Patriots. Obviously, he took the Tennessee Titans to the AFC Championship game, a game that they ended up losing to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, it feels like 10 years ago, but it wasn't that long ago. It must have been 5-ish years ago. And then you have Mike McDonald on the other side. He was one of the John Harbaugh's disciples. He ends up getting this job after being the defensive coordinator there, and now he's the head coach in the second season. Both these guys in their second, or Mike Vrabel in his first season, and then Mike McDonald in his second season. If you had to pick an advantage when it comes to the head coaching position, who do you think has the edge?
I'm gonna go New England. I'm a Vrabel guy. Always have been, always will be. And look, it's nothing against Mike McDonald, but I think Mike Vrabel is the third best coach we have in the National Football League right now, behind Andy Reid and Sean McVay. But Mike, he gets his men ready to play. And he knows the ins and outs of what this week is going to bring. Remember, he was on a couple of those New England teams
he's got 3 rings as a player, I think.
Yeah. So I'm going to give the edge to New England, but it's not like a runaway advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to tend to agree with you. I think just the experience of being in the big moment. I mean, because this is like he was a very good coach. I think he won Coach of the Year with that Tennessee Titans. No, I guess he did.
He won it. He won the Coach of the Year in 2021 when Derrick Henry went hurt, and he still got them to the top seed in the
a 3-time Super Bowl champion as a player. I can't read these numeral rules right now. I think it's like XXV1. I think that's 36. 38 and then 39. That's Roman numerals are not my strength. But yeah, I mean, he's just been there, done that. I mean, he's not going to be surprised by anything. He's not going to overreact to anything that happens during the game either. I think he's got the cachet. Not that Mike McDonald doesn't have that, but he hasn't been a head coach as long. I mean, he spent. I'm just looking that up actually right now. Like, I'm not sure, like this is his first head coaching job. I know he spent at least 2 seasons as the defensive coordinator there in Baltimore, but before that, he was the Michigan defensive coordinator in 2021, pretty good Michigan team. And then he was in the Baltimore Ravens system for basically 10 years or so. He was in Georgia for a little while. And then he was the linebackers coach in high school in Georgia in 2008. 38 years old there for Mike McDonald, pretty young guy. But I think Mike Vrabel has, I wouldn't say, I want to say he has a clear advantage. I think he's just been there, done that. He has more experience as a coach. I think that's a clear advantage for the new.
I can agree with you on that one for sure. And can you hear me okay, David?
Yeah, you sound great.
All right, cool.
And then from there, we're going to swing into the offensive side of the football. Let's start first with the quarterback position. We have an MVP candidate there in Drake May. We'll find out if he won that hardware on Friday, I think. Thursday here in San Francisco. Man, we are doing so much coverage for like just all of the events that are going on. Like we have like a whole live shot set up for the Pro Bowl. That kicks off here in a couple hours, or maybe an hour and a half or so here in Santa Clara. They put a whole stadium like in this. It's the fact that they were able to pull this off in like under a week is just crazy. Nice. Like the work that it put to put this all together for like San Francisco to have all these events, pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And then going up, Sam Darnold. Obviously, people wrote him off and he didn't write back, as Geno Smith said 3 years ago now. But for real, Sam Darnold. I mean, his comeback story is one of legend. Cast off from the Jets, all the seeing ghost stuff. And then he's had 2 really productive seasons in the NFL. And the Minnesota Vikings probably kicking themselves for not bringing him back at whatever the number he kind of wanted. But Drake May, Sam Darnold, if you had to pick a quarterback, who's got the advantage?
I'm going to lean to Sam. And this is nothing against Drake because, I saw Drake play week 17. And, I mean, that was a scrimmage. He carved up the New York Jets. But just the growth that I've seen from Sam Darnold in these last 2 years has been nothing short of remarkable. He's let the game come to him. Years ago, I saw a guy that would just rush to throw the football. Now, he's patient. He reads the entire field. He's not forcing the ball. And I mean, he could have been an MVP candidate too, if you ask me. But I'm gonna go Sam. David?
I think it's really like a razor's.
It's close.
It's like a razor's. I'm gonna go Drake May. I think he has been a better player this season with less around him. I just don't think the offensive line the New England Patriots offensive line is as good as the one there in Seattle. I mean, I guess we'll talk about all that stuff, and I don't think the weapons are either as good as they are in Seattle. So I think Drake May has done more with less, his growth and elevation has been just outstanding. I know he hasn't been good in the playoffs. He's had actually a pretty forgettable playoff run. They've kind of won despite of Drake May over the last couple of games. But I mean, he's still, his regular season Bredeke speaks for itself. And I don't think anything else needs. I think Drake. I got to give the advantage to Drake May. I think he's been better with less around him.
I think honestly, if you were to pick one over the other, I don't think anyone would necessarily be wrong per se, because the things that I've seen Drake May do this year, to be so young at 23 years old, and just how, he's able to evade pressure. He doesn't take sacks. If a guy's not open, he's going to run it. He's mobile. And then Sam Darnold on the other end, I mean, what he did in the NFC Championship game was the best I think I've ever seen him look since he went toe for toe with, in my opinion, the favorite to win the MVP in Matthew Stafford. He went throw for throw, pass for pass, and didn't back down.
From there, we're going to talk about the offensive weapons for both these two football teams. First, starting at the running back, so we got Kenneth Walker, the third, for the Seattle Seahawks, and then in the wide receiving, we got JSN, Cooper Kupp, and Rashid Shaheed, and then Jake Bobo as the fourth wide receiver there for the Seattle Seahawks, and AJ Barner as the tight end for the Seattle Seahawks. The fact that he got that over is just wild to me. Anyways, on the other side, we got Ramondre Stevenson, Trevion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Keyshawn Boutte, Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper. Also, shout out to Austin Hooper, Bay Area native, playing in his second Super Bowl. He was part of that Falcons team that got to let that 28-3 lead slip away. But in terms of weapons, which do you think has the advantage? Patriots, Seahawks?
This is close too. I mean, wow.
With all due respect, I'm not so sure. I think I personally think the Seattle Seahawks.
I
think the offensive weapons in Seattle.
I'm gonna lean Seattle too, because they have four guys that can attack your defense.
Mm-hmm.
They have Kenneth Walker the third out the backfield, and he reminds me of a bigger Kareem Hunt.
Man, Kenneth Walker during this playoff run has been he's taken his game to another level. He's been awesome.
He's been phenomenal. And David, I followed him in college at Michigan State. I thought he was good enough to win the Heisman until Michigan State faltered at the end. He's one. You got to worry about Rashid Shaheed. He's your guy that can take the top off your coverage, and he can go underneath. He's a threat in special teams. You have Cooper Kupp. He's a savvy veteran. And then Jackson Smith-Njigba is the guy that makes it all happen. Yeah, it's definitely Seattle for me.
I mean, the Stephon Diggs story has been awesome this season.
It's been great.
He tears his ACL in Houston. Nobody really thought what they were going to get with him when they brought him into New England. And, yeah, he's been everything they could have asked for Drake May this season. And he finally gets to have that moment, because people have been showing that video of him standing out there in his Buffalo Bills uniform, watching the Chiefs celebrate that AFC Championship game. And now he finally got it going into the Super Bowl. And I think, the two-headed monster of Ramondre Stevenson and Trevion Henderson, it's close with Kenneth Walker. But I just think that he is such a dynamic player, and he kind of does what both of those guys do for New England, only a little bit better. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have the crazy home run threat that Trevion Henderson has, but he does have a little bit of that. I mean,
yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly.
But yeah, I think the problem with I think it's that third wide receiver. I think that's really where you look at the Seattle Seahawks. I'm like, yeah, they have a clear advantage there.
Exactly. I agree.
From there, we're going to talk about the offensive line. We have over here for the Seattle Seahawks, we got Charles Cross, Gray Vabel, Jalen Sundell, Anthony Bradford, and Abraham Lucas rounded out that offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks. In New England, we have Will Campbell, Jared Wilson, Jared Bradbury, Mike Owendo, and then Morgan Moses, the savvy veteran who's probably been in the league for a decade now, if not longer, at that right tackle position. This one for me is very close, but I think I think it's Seattle. I think that the tackles are a little bit more superior, and Will Campbell, ever since he kind of came back from the injury, hasn't been as good as he was before the injury. Also, I think the NFL is just a different beast. I think Seattle has the advantage when it comes to the offensive line. I don't know if you feel the same way about that.
No, I agree with you because it just seemed like they did such a great job of keeping Sam Darnold upright and on his feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time I saw him, he had forever and a day to throw.
That offensive line basically neutralized the Rams defense last weekend.
And that's the key.
That Rams defense was a absolute force and was basically a non-factor in that NFC Championship game.
Yeah, that's the key. When you can neutralize that pass rush and when you can get rid of the ball quickly, that front can't get home. Plain and simple. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna say the Seattle offensive line, I think, does have the advantage. And this is nothing against what the Patriots have done, but you mentioned Will Campbell, and I tend to agree with you. He really hasn't looked like the same guy, David.
Yeah, it feels like he hit the rookie wall a little bit. Like, I don't know if it's just because, you're playing at this point of the season, you're playing, 7 more games than you would play at college, even if you make the playoff. So I think that is taking a little bit of a toll on him. He came back from that injury. I think it was like a broken something, So he broke something, and he hasn't been as good since he's returned from that injury.
Right.
So I don't know if it's a combination of those two things, but he's probably going to be amazing eventually. But if this is a season where he's kind of getting exposed a little bit towards the end of the season here.
He'll be all right, He'll be all right. I thought he was the best offensive lineman in the country when he played in college football. Very sought out recruit, and there's a reason why he went to the Patriots at 4. In the draft.
To the other side of the football, because we're not here to just talk about the offensive side. We got to talk about the defense. We're going to start with those big boys up front in the defensive line. For the New England Patriots, that includes Christian Barmore, Kairos Tonga, Milton Williams, a big free agency signing. And then if you want to talk about Clavon Cason and Harold Landry, who are kind of their outside linebackers. On the Seattle side, they play a 4-3. So we got DeMarcus Lawrence, who has been kind of rejuvenated in Seattle, Byron Murphy III, Leonard Williams, and Derek Hall. We'll talk about the linebackers separately. But this talking about defensive line, if this is going head-to-head, tat for tat, along with Jaron Reed, who's also on this football team for the Seattle Seahawks as one of their key reserves. Who's got the advantage there?
I'm going to go Seattle. What they have done this year has been absolutely remarkable. They've been the tone setters for this entire defense. DeMarcus Lawrence, he looks like he's found the fountain of youth. He's been around for quite some time. And then look at that 2-headed monster that you have on the interior of the defensive line, and DeMarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams. Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams. It's tough to run on them. They're going to force you to bounce outside. You're not running up the middle on those guys. And then you have Hall on the edge, and they all do their own thing. They stunt, they can collapse lanes, they all can collapse the pocket, they all can get after the quarterback. It's Seattle for me, David.
Yeah, I think Milton Williams may be the best player of the 7 guys that we talked about with Christian Barmore, because they play a 3-4 there in New England with Kairos Tonga and then Milton Williams playing the right defensive end in that kind of shell 3-4. Bill Williams might be the best player, but I think Seattle has the best unit. Those 4 guys, have just been absolute game changers, game wreckers. We saw what they did against the San Francisco 49ers in that game. In that playoff game. We also saw what they did in the final week of the regular season. Just an absolute stifling unit where you just can't move the football, and they're putting pressure without having to blitz, which is huge. This is the advantage for Seattle as well.
Yeah.
From there to the linebacking core for the Seattle Seahawks, that includes Drake Thomas, who did have a pick in that game against the Seattle Seahawks. Ernest Jones the fourth, who I do believe came over in the Russell Wilson trade all those years ago. And then Nwusu, South, and then those three guys, because they play a 4-3. And then on the other side, we got Harold Landry the third, Robert Spillane, Christian Ellis, and then Clavon Chason, who's completely rejuvenated his career after he got drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, 5 years ago now? Had very little impact there. He goes to San Francisco. He comes here, and he's just been an absolute game changer for this defense and for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one to New England. They cover ground. They can stop the run, and him bringing Harold Landry over. He coached Mike Vrabel coached Harold Landry in Tennessee, so he knows the schemes and what Mike Vrabel wants to run, and I think he's their best pass rusher, if you ask me.
I tend to agree with you on that. Yeah, Harold Landry, but the Clayson thing is wild to me. So, like, I was wrong. He wasn't in San Francisco. I think it was somebody else. But he went to Las Vegas for one season. He did get drafted by the Jaguars. He has more sacks this season than he did his entire tenure in Jacksonville.
Crazy, right?
Like, yeah, like he was there for 4 years. It's like that's like he wasn't there for like one. He wasn't there for like 2 or 3 seasons. He was there for 4 seasons. He had one, and 2 sacks. He's had 7.5 this season. And yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think the linebacking core for the New England Patriots, especially with Harold Landry there, and Robert Spillane, who's been a fantastic linebacker for many seasons, kind of got lost in the shuffle there in Las Vegas for several seasons, but he's been excellent for the. Oh, he was in the Patriots too. Or he was in Pittsburgh too. I kind of forgot about that. But I just remember him being in Las Vegas and just being an absolute tackling machine. And then he comes here and no different, right? He's been he played 13 games. He's had 97 tackles. He's just been a absolute difference maker for the New England Patriots. And Clavon Chason, as I kind of referenced, he's kind of rejuvenated his career. He had 5 sacks last season in Oakland or Las Vegas, sorry. And then New England, 7.5. Just talk about a renaissance when you talk about your career. Going to a good place and getting some good coaching, how that makes a crazy difference. And you know, when he was in Las Vegas last season, he also benefited from the fact he's got Max Crosby on the other side, right?
Yeah. That definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, it definitely helps when you have a all-pro on the other side of the football, like on the other side of your defensive line. But I think the advantage goes to the New England Patriots there when it comes to the linebackers. And this is where things get interesting, Christian. Defensive backs. We have Devon Witherspoon for the Seattle Seahawks, Josh Joby, Reek Woolen, Kobe Bryant, Julian Love, and then their nickel, Nick Imanwari, who may win defensive rookie. He probably won't, actually. I think, what's his name from Cleveland has that locked up.
Yeah, Carson.
Carson. Yeah, Nick Imanwari finally said that name correctly, so good for me. But that is an absolute stacked secondary. And not to be outdone, the secondary for the New England Patriots, Carlton Davis III, Jalen Hawkins, Craig Woodson, Marcus Jones, who I think has a bunch of pick sixes in this season. And then the crown jewel of this defense is Christian Gonzalez, who might be the best corner in the NFL today. Christian.
Yeah, I'm stumped, David. This one could really go either way. And I don't want to give a draw. But wow. I'm going to go Seattle slightly because Nick Emanwari has really come in, and he's been a tone setter.
He's been awesome. He's been
so
good.
Listen, what he did at South Carolina is exactly what he's doing for the Seattle Seahawks. He's rangy. He can play in the box. He can cover tight ends. He can cover running backs in the flat. You can send them on a blitz. You know, I just think the guys on the Seattle secondary, they're a little bit more versatile because they do a little more. So I'm going to say the Seahawks.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I think this is stupid close. Like, I just having Christian Gonzalez on your team of the New England Patriots is such an absolute game. He's been a steal around. They took him 16 overall. I think 3 other corners went before Christian Gonzalez in that particular draft, including Devon Witherspoon, I'm pretty sure, or Devon Witherspoon. Yeah, 17 by the New England Patriots. He's been everything you could have imagined. I mean, his rookie season was cut short due to an injury, but ever since then, man, he's absolutely hit the ground running. He's been a multiple-time Pro Bowler, multiple-time All-Pro. Christian Gonzalez is probably the best corner in the NFL. But when you talk about a collective unit, we're talking about more than just one guy, and the advantage goes to the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
From there, we're going to talk about the X factor, the third element that we don't talk about as much, but because of the third element, the Los Angeles Rams are not playing in this game. We have the special teams on the New England side. We got Andy Borgagels. I think that's how his last name is pronounced. Their punters, Bryce Behringer, Marcus Jones, who's got a crazy amount of returns this season as the punt returner. Kyle Williams is their kick returner, and Julian Ashby is the long snapper for the New England Patriots. On the other side, a very reliable kicker in Jason Myers, Michael Dixon, who's been a very reliable punt returner or punter in this league, and then Rashid Shaheed, the speedster, is their punt returner and kick returner, who already has at least one house call in this playoff run. I think he took the opening kick, right, in that game against the 49ers.
Yeah, he did.
In the playoffs, yeah. And then Chris Stoll is their long snapper. If you had to pick an advantage between special teams, who's got it?
It's going to Seattle. Yeah, it's going to Seattle just due to the simple fact, the Shaheed factor. I think really screams volumes because he can impact the game. You know what he is, David? What Marvin Mims is to the Denver Broncos, that's what I think Rashid Shaheed has become to the Seattle Seahawks.
I tend to agree with you on that. I think for me, I think it's more about the kicking game, right?
And that too.
I having Jason Myers, a kicker who's been in the NFL. So Andy Borgales. I'm sorry. I'm just Andy. If you're watching the show, which you're probably not, I apologize for butchering your name. All respect, you've been awesome this season, but this is your first season in the NFL. You missed 5 kicks this season. Pretty good averages. You made all of your kicks 50 plus. 59 is the long, and that's pretty good resume for a kicker in your first NFL season. But Jason Myers has been there, done that. He's as established a kicker as we have in the National Football League, and he's accurate as hell. 85.4%. He's not missed an extra point this season. He's been in the NFL. He's 34 years old. He's been in the NFL over a decade now. I got to give the advantage to Seattle Seahawks. I think they have a better and then Rashid Shaheed, I think, even though Marcus Jones, I think, leads the NFL in yards when it comes to punt returns. Fairly certain.
So. Yeah. So I'm definitely giving the edge to the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't hate that. Now let's talk about the other one, the 12th man for both of these two football teams, the fan base. Which of these fan bases gets the advantage, Seattle or New England?
Wow. I mean, look, the Patriots have a big fan base. Let me tell you, when I went to that game against the Jets, David, I saw more Patriot fans than I did Jet fans. That was a de facto home.
Yeah, that's not that far though. I mean, it was like
but still,
a 3-hour drive to get there.
Yeah,
from Boston.
Seattle fans, Seattle fans show up too. They really do. I think we may see more Seattle fans at this game than we do New England fans because I don't know how far of a drive that is from Washington.
It's far. It's over 8 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty because you got to drive all the way. Like you basically got to drive the entire distance to Portland, and there's not like a great way to go because you have to like drive through the mountains and shit.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's a pretty far drive. Like you're not just going to drive for the game. Like you have to kind of plan it out.
Honestly, I'm gonna go New England here. Like these fans are passionate. They're back. They're here like they never left. And it's not anything against, Seattle.
Well, that's actually 13 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's nothing against Seattle fans, I guess, because I know more people personally who are Patriot fans than I do Seattle fans. But yeah, I mean, both fan bases have really shown out for their teams this year.
I mean, we have the team that has the moniker of the 12th man. They have notoriously a very passionate fan base. Um, I am gonna take the Seattle Seahawks for this particular. Man, outside of the quarterback and the head coach, Seattle Seahawks have kind of run the gambit here. They've won every other category, at least in my opinion. But the I guess outside of linebackers, I forgot. Yeah, I had the New England Patriots win, but I got to go Seattle here. I think the fans are going to show up. I expect both these teams to have a pretty well representative fan bases in the game. It's obviously the Super Bowl. But that takes us to the final question. And before we get up into the final question, we got some go deep into the history books here for just a second. Let's not forget that these two teams played in the Super Bowl 11 years ago, almost to the date, 12/01/2015. This is where the meme where they should have given it to Marshawn Lynch became famous. The New England Patriots, Malcolm Butler gets the pick to seal the game for the New England Patriots, 28-24. It's crazy to think that game is now 11 years ago, and now we have these two teams looking very, very different 11 years later, playing again in the Super Bowl. Also, if you want to look back a little bit further, the Seattle's kind of dominated the matchups between these two franchises since 1989. They've won 9 of the 12 matchups between these two franchises, going all the way back to 1989. The only wins that New England has had is obviously in the Super Bowl. They won in 2008 and 2004. But other than that, it's been an absolute beatdown by the Seattle Seahawks. But obviously, the last time these two teams played actually was last season. I think this was opening night. Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. Christian, do you remember who won this game 2 years ago?
I think Seattle won this game, David.
Well, I kind of just gave it away, but Seattle did win this game. They won it 23-20. Starting quarterbacks Geno Smith and Jacoby Brissett for the New England Patriots, because they were feeding Jacoby Brissett to these Seattle. Like Jacoby Brissett was having a bad time because that offensive line wasn't any good. He sacked 3 times in this game. Do you know who the leading rusher was for the Patriots in this game?
Wow. Was it Stevenson?
He was the second leading rusher, and this was on open.
Antonio Gibson.
Antonio Gibson, look at you. 11 carries for 96 yards. But yeah, Seattle got the advantage 23-20. But obviously, this is a very different looking football teams. These are very different looking franchises. And Christian, I think I know what's coming.
David, first off, man, I love you, brother.
I love you too, brother.
Really man.
Let's go.
Look, we got to bring it home. And then we got more coming for him next year and during the draft as well. Yeah. So on my count, David, let's do it.
Let's go.
2, 3.
Shameless plug
number
1,
baby. Man, cannot wait. It's a preview this game. Seattle, they've done it with offense. They've done it with defense. They've done it on special teams. New England, their defense has really risen to the occasion during these playoffs. They sacked Justin Herbert 6 times in a wild card round. They intercept CJ Stroud 4 times in a divisional round. And all Drake May really had to do in the AFC Championship literally was control the clock, be game manager, make a throw when the opportunity presented itself, hand the ball off. But most importantly, just don't lose us the football game. Cannot wait for this game. I think it's going to be close. So it's 2 parts to this. Part 1 comes on Friday. That's the written preview. Okay. Sunday, I will be filming a video continuing my preview. So that'll be part 2 of my Super Bowl preview. And it will be up a couple of hours before Super Bowl. And everybody I contribute for on the radio, such as David right here and all the others, they will be tagged in the video and it will be all over social media. Be on the lookout.
And you can find all that content over there at the Daily Blitz.blog. Just keep an eye out for all Christian's content. I'm not going to make you wait till Friday or till Sunday morning to get my prediction. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. It's tough for me because I do think they have the ultimate X factor, because I think Drake May is the ultimate X factor in this particular game. Like, if he plays well, they have absolutely every chance to win this game, because his best is as good as anybody in the National Football League. At least this season it has been. Drake May has he's just elevated himself to like like an upper tier pantheon quarterback play. Just one really great season. And I know TJ, if he was here, they'd be like, "Oh, you got to do it again." But I'm convinced that he's ready to go. Like he's gone toe to toe with some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's come out victorious. And we cannot take that away from him, what he's done this season. And people want to complain about the schedule and complain about his, how he's looked in the playoffs. It doesn't matter as long as you continue to win games. But he's been outstanding this season. But when you look at the Seattle Seahawks and you look at their roster, they're just a more complete football team, in my opinion. I think they have better weapons on the outside. I think they're stronger in the trenches on both sides of the football. And these kind of games are won and lost in the trenches. I'm going to take Seattle. I think if we get like as Izzy likes to say, a virtuoso Drake May performance, I could see a scenario where New England pulls this off. But I'm gonna go with Seattle. I just think that they have a better football team on paper, and I don't know we don't play games on paper, but I make predictions on paper, and I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl and hoist the Vince Lombardi Trophy. If I had a prediction for Super Bowl MVP, I'm gonna go JSN. No,
I like that one.
No. I'm taking that back. I'm going to go Kenneth Walker III. I think JSN is going to be locked up by Christian Gonzalez for majority of the game, and I'm not sure how much a factor Christian Gonzalez is going to have in this game. Or JSN, sorry, because Christian Gonzalez is that guy.
It'll be a fun game, man. Can't wait to talk about it, and can't wait to, just continue to see what's going to happen leading up to the game. Going to go watch some of this media coverage, and can't wait to drop a preview. I know we have NFL honors on Thursday, and that's when we find out every award winner. We find out who wins the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, and I think that's the toughest award for one to hand out to, because
everybody in the NFL does such great stuff with the community.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how can you really narrow that down to one? And then, of course, the one thing I always look forward to, I can say this year, I'm really not looking forward to it, and that's the announcement of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class.
Yeah. Before we get up out of here, though, different than what we normally do. So there are a bunch of prop bets for the Super Bowl. Christian, me and you are just going to go through them real quick.
Let's do it.
I just want to see how we do on this. All right. So Charlie, somebody's singing the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner. Do you think it's going to be over or under 2 minutes?
I say slightly over.
I'm going to go over 2 minutes.
I'm saying
coin toss, heads or tails? I'm going to go tails.
I'm going heads.
Team wins the coin toss, New England or Seattle?
Seattle, but they defer it.
I'm going to do that same thing. Yeah, I think Seattle's going to win the coin toss. How will the first down be gained? Run, pass, or by penalty?
I think it's going to be a run. If Seattle has the ball, they're going to feed Kenneth Walker. I think that offensive line, they're going to get the necessary push up front. It's either going to be that or it's going to be a screen pass to JSN.
I'm gonna go passing play. I think it's gonna be a passing touchdown. What will be the first scoring play? Will there be a field goal, a touchdown, or the rarely seen safety in the Super Bowl?
I think it's gonna be a running play. Seattle likes to run the football, David.
I'm going field goal. I think the first score will be a field goal.
Okay.
Who's gonna be the team to score first, New England or Seattle?
I'm gonna say Seattle.
I'm going to go New England. I think Andy Borjagles is going to get the first field goal of the game. Okay. With the first touchdown, will that player have an odd or an even numbered uniform?
I'm going to say even.
I'm going to go odd because I think is it JSN's number 11? He may Kenneth Walker. You know what? I'm going to go even. I think Kenneth Walker's 8, Stephon Diggs is 8. I think one of those two guys, and then both the running backs for the Patriots both have even numbers. Yeah. So I'll go even. How will the first turnover of the game occur? Either there'll be a fumble, interception, or no turnovers at all.
I think this is going to be a fairly clean game. Both quarterbacks take tremendous care of the football. I don't think we're going to see any turnovers, David.
I'm going to go fumble. I think Drake May has a fumble in this game. Or, a guy who's kind of cleaned this up throughout the season. Or Amari Stevenson used to be notorious for fumbling. So I think there's going to be at least one fumble in this game.
Okay.
This is a commercial question. After kickoff, which product will be advertised first? Beer, chips, vehicle, a TV show, soda, or other?
I'm gonna say it's a food item. I don't know which one, but I think it's gonna be a food item for sure.
I'm going to go beer. I think beer will be the
Okay.
first commercial
Okay.
after the kickoff. After the kickoff, which sideline will have the first report, either the New England or Seattle sideline?
I'm gonna go New England.
I'm going to go Seattle. I think they're technically the home team. After kickoff, which head coach will be shown first? Either Mike Vrabel or Mike McDonald.
Vrabel.
I'm going to go Vrabel too, because I think they'll talk about his coaching career
Yeah.
a little bit. Which side of the ball will be penalized first? Offense, defense, or special teams?
I'm gonna say defense.
I'm going to go special teams. I think they'll be like an illegal block on the back, maybe on the kickoff.
Okay.
Will either quarterback throw for 300 yards? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
I think so too.
Yes.
Will any player have 75 yards rushing? I'm going to go yes on that one as well.
Absolutely.
Will either JSN or Stephon Diggs score a touchdown? Yes or no?
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm going to go yes on that one too. Will pass rusher Clavon Chason or DeMarcus Lawrence record at least a half a sack? I'm going to go no. I'm going to go no.
I think DeMarcus at least gets one. Yeah. I'm going to say DeMarcus gets one.
Will either kicker miss a field goal or extra point? I'm going to say no.
No.
Will any player score multiple touchdowns?
Yes.
I'm going to go no. I think this is going to be a pretty balanced attack for both of these two teams. Will either high-powered offense have a play of 50 yards or more?
Yes, I say Seattle.
I'm going to go yes too. I think Trayvon Henderson might break one.
I can see that, and he needs to show up because where's he been?
Yeah, that's true. Will any ruling on the field be overturned upon replay review or or replay assistance? I'm going to go yes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Will either team score a defensive touchdown, a special team touchdown, or a safety? I'm going to go no.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I say no.
Will any quarter of this game have no points whatsoever?
I can see the first because usually, both teams are still trying to get a feel for one another. So I can see it.
I'm going to go yes too. And then swinging into the quarter conversation, which of these do you think will be the highest scoring? 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 2 will have the same exact score? For me, I think the fourth quarter is going to be the highest scoring quarter of the game. I think that's when tensions get high. I think
Yeah, I say the third or the fourth quarter.
And then for some non-football questions, let's first start with the halftime show. I don't know if you're a big Bad Bunny fan, but what will he wear during the performance of the first song? A hat, a ball cap, a beanie, a straw hat, or a cowboy hat?
I'm just gonna say a regular cap. Yeah, I'm
not a huge bad.
Yeah,
Bad
me
Bunny
neither.
Fan, so I don't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go straw hat because I think the straw hats are fun. So I'll go with that. And the first commercial following the conclusion of the first half will advertise a beverage. Will the first commercial following the first half advertise a beverage? Yes or no? I'm gonna say yes.
I'll say yes. I'll say yes.
And then into the commercials. Which beer will be advertised most? Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors Light, Budweiser, Michelob Ultra, or Labatt Blue? Okay. I'll go Miller Lite.
I'm going Budweiser.
Budweiser? All right, I can see that.
Yeah.
They'll probably roll out the Clydesdales at some point, right?
Exactly.
Which product will be advertised most? Either chips or soda?
Chips.
I'm going to go chips too. Actually, no, I'll go soda with Pepsi and Coke kind of always going at it.
Yeah.
Will any current NFL player appear in a commercial? I think that's a lock. Yes, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely. All right, here we go. Which color Gatorade will be dumped on the winning coach? Your options are red, blue, orange, yellow, clear, other, or there will be no Gatorade whatsoever.
I say blue.
Man, blue is my favorite. Gatorade.
Nah, man, orange is my favorite one. But yeah, I
give
say
me
blue.
The blue one is iconic. I'm gonna go red. I think the red one's gonna be the one. And then for the Super Bowl AVT, who would they thank first? Their God, teammates, coach, the city/fans, the owner/GM, their family. They don't thank anyone, or they thank somebody I didn't mention. Like, maybe.
Man, that's a good one. Damn, these are kind of stupid me.
I think it's gonna be God. Like
Yeah, I think I think it's gonna be the man
God.
above. Yeah, I think it's gonna
I
be
think
the man above. Yeah,
I think so. So
yeah.
but yeah, that's a bunch of the prop bets that I found on this website. If you what do you guys think about any of those questions? Leave those down in the comment section. Thank you very much for joining us and hanging out with us all season long here at Prime Sports World. We appreciate your constant fan support. I'm David Huffman, and from the Daily Blitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson in the house. And this is not the end of the NFL content. Obviously, we're going to do a top 10 mock draft tomorrow. Just kind of get into kind of just off-season stuff. And then next week, obviously, we got our big recap with the Super Bowl. We're going to recap the coaching carousel because most of those positions have been filled with the Arizona Cardinals hiring the current offensive coordinator and Matt LaFleur's brother as their new head coach. His name is escaping his first name. And then the Las Vegas Raiders are going to hire Clint Kubiak as soon as the Super Bowl ends. So we'll talk about all that stuff on Wednesday. Break down the Super Bowl for you guys. You don't want to miss any of that content. And Christian, what do we do here at the Prime Sports World, my friend?
We bring the heat, baby.
Hell yeah. We'll be back here next week. Actually, we'll be back here tomorrow, giving you our first mock draft edition. You don't want to miss any of that content. You all have a good weekend, and hopefully you get to enjoy the Super Bowl. Let us know down in the comment section who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and we thank you very much for riding with us all season long. Christian, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, are you available tomorrow? Or?
I'll see what's going on. I might make a little appearance.
Okay, for sure.
All right, man.
You have a great night, brother. I'll see you later.
Yeah, you too, brother.